Well, thank you, Daniel Korn, for those insightful comments. Over now to Mitrani, Head of Digital Products Innovation at Superpharm, an Israeli pharmacy retail chain that is both in Israel and Poland. Michael, as a strong B&M player and with a nice online operation, how do you combine the two worlds and what are the challenges?
So maybe I should start by telling the audience about Superpharm a bit. What do you think? So I have this presentation here. So just a rough, 5 minutes to talk about Superpharm to tell you about the company. I'm sure the Israeli audience knows us, but as I understand, not everyone here is from Israel. So just a very short overview of what we are about and what we're doing in terms of innovation, a bit of the digital. So first of all, Superpharm is a drugstore chain, the biggest one in Israel. We have more than 260 stores already and about 70 stores in Poland. And the main core businesses for us are departments like cosmetics, baby-related products like diapers and baby food, the pharmacy, which is the anchor of each one of our stores, and optics as well that we have in many of our stores. It is by far the largest drugstore chain in the country, and we've been around for 42 years already. So this is Superpharm in a nutshell, a very known brand. Because I'm the online guy, I'll talk about our online business a bit and tell you what we do here. So we've launched our e-commerce operation around 3 years ago. And for now, it has more than 2 million unique users every month, which is a lot for Israel. The majority of the traffic for us is coming from mobile, and the majority of the transactions also they are coming from mobile as we see them. And this is growing and growing every month. Obviously, we saw that growing much faster because of the COVID-19, but we've been growing since we've launched, and today it's already the #1 store in the chain in terms of the operation and revenues. So we've been growing that a lot, and we are focusing always on the customer experience, and I'll talk after that about the challenges that we have because of the online store and the mix with the brick and mortar business, because it's not that straightforward for us because of our unique business model. One of the key features that we have on the website is that we do a real-time inventory check, of basically the items in your order, and in case, and I must say this to emphasize that point, is that the majority of our clients, our customers on the website, they are choosing click and collect. For us, it's 80% of the transactions are doing click and collect rather than deliveries. Only 20% are doing deliveries. So that's it. That's probably very different from what you will see in Europe or the US. And for that reason, it's very important for us to manage very accurately the inventory that we have per store, because sometimes, most of the times, the transaction itself is being picked up in a specific store where a customer chose to pick it up, as we offer a 3-hour pickup express or next day pickup. So if we do next day pickup, it's going to go from logistics centers or hubs, as we call them. And you'll see an example for one of those in the next slide. But the majority of the transactions are being picked up in the store where customers want to collect it from. So that's why it's very important for us to be able to monitor the inventory and to do like a real-time check before you finish the transaction in order to tell you whether items are there or not. If they're not in the store, we'll most often suggest another store nearby which has all the items that you want. So this is what you see in the screenshot, and we added the tracking in the application, the basic stuff as well. This is an example of one of two logistics centers that we have. This is used by a startup called Fabric, previously known as Common Central Robotics. So this is one of the facilities that they run for us, where they collect, you see, mostly automatically, all of the items needed for a transaction. So they handle not all of the transactions that we have per day, but a very large majority of the transactions are handled by them as well. So this is just one example of how we work with startups and different technologies that we bring in to the business. About the mobile application, this has been around for a while, and it's been really the most, I think, successful retail application in the country with more than 3 million downloads. More than 500,000 users are using it every month. And this is an application that doesn't even do e-commerce. It's just about the in-store experience, about preparing your store visit. So people are mainly using it to see what kind of offers and promotions they are, to manage a shopping list, and then to redeem coupons automatically via the application in store. So we are still working on the e-commerce approach for the application, but even without that, it's a very successful application in terms of usage that we are very proud of, and it's been expanding over time. We are using the application to leverage, the experience that customers have in store, and how to really enhance that visit. So rather than just picking up products from the shelf, putting them in the cart or the basket, and then go to pay for them, we try to add more and more functionalities in order to really enhance the experience within the store. So either from personal coupons, or the ability to manage your wish list and to get notified where your favorite items start a promotion. You can pay via the application as well, and the basic stuff, as well as locating nearby stores and such. But also we combine content that we have already from the website, such as the reviews, for example, or reading more content about a product that is available on the website. You can do that by scanning the product via the application, and then getting more information about it than otherwise won't be available on the shelf itself. So these are just two examples on how we try to integrate the messaging about the application in the physical store. So we either tell people you can scan the product and get some more information about it, whether it's part of a promotion or not, because sometimes it's not really that visible on the shelves in terms of the messaging. So people, and I've heard also the teams within the store, sometimes they're not sure whether a specific SKU is part of a promotion. They use the client application basically to scan the product and get this information. Also, we've taken that approach as done by Amazon in their physical stores, to show next to products, to popular products, how people have reviewed that product. And we see already effects, the effects of the sales from that type of messaging. So next to a specific product, we'll say, these are the number of customers that rated that product on the online website, and this is what they said. And again, we tell people you can just scan a product, scan its barcode, and read the reviews if you want in the app. So we try to integrate this kind of digital content that we already have to the shelf, that obviously doesn't really have the room or the space to put all of these kind of messages. So the application is really an extension to that. And just to give a couple of the last examples, before I answer your question, this is one tool that we integrated. This is a company called Fitskin. And this has been available in around, I think, half of our stores, around 100 of our stores. It basically allows the beauty assistant, the beauty advisor, to scan the face of the client, and it will get different parameters. It's a very accurate, as you can see, like microscopic level kind of scanning, and it will give you the insight of what's your score in terms of pores, in terms of wrinkles, in terms of the humidity of the skin. So you'll get a score, and then with that score, you can get a list of relevant products that are relevant to your specific skin score.
That's great.
So that's a very nice tool. It's been, it just started to launch before the Corona, and then Corona came, and we put all the devices in the drawers because people really didn't want, any device touching their face. But now it's going to do a comeback, a very nice comeback. And it will also allow for customers to, from the same kind of scan, to get the recommended skin tone for makeup foundation. So they'll get the recommended color for them.
What is your relationship with Fitskin, with this company?
So that's a Canadian American company, and we've been in touch with them since the beginning. I think they started with they did a product with Johnson and Johnson, and then they started with Neutrogena. But since
Yeah.
they've launched in Sephora and other places,
Hmm.
I think we've been, one of the first few customers at the beginning, and it's been
No,
really cool.
what would be your advice to startups that want to work with Superfarm?
Um, well, first of all, I see startups all the time, obviously, as part of my role of the innovation role part, and I really prefer to see startups that are more mature. The product doesn't necessarily need to be like in huge big clients, but it needs to be ready in
Mhm.
terms, in the sense that I can take the product and try it from day one.
Right.
It's really hard for me, and as the type of the organization we are, to get to know a product and then to help a company build it for a few months and then see it becomes ready. So on one hand, the advantage of that is to find this non-mature product is that you really can grow that product to your needs, which is
Hmm.
really nice. But sometimes we don't have the energy or the resources to really do it. So if I can get a product that I can pretty much do a pilot on the spot and it's
Right.
easier to integrate, that would be an advantage for sure. I don't really care about the other clients. Like that slide of
Mhm.
our clients, I never care about that one. I really care about the technology. I care about the people,
Right.
um, and that their messaging is clear. Other than that, I think, and I welcome, many startups to come talk to us. Sometimes startups don't necessarily think of Superfarm as a retailer. Uh, when they want to do retail, they go to the groceries. But we are, as a retailer, as big as anyone here, the second biggest retailer in the country, by the way. So really, I think, and because we like this type of innovation, and because we have the capabilities of really absorb that kind of innovation most of the time. Again, if it's mature enough, I really recommend to come and talk to us. It doesn't matter, by the way, if it's from Israeli companies or from anyone else, because Fitskin, for example, they are, as mentioned, Canadian American. And another example is that company called Revive. They're from Finland, and they give the same kind of capabilities as Fitskin, but for the web. So we use that capability in the web as well. You scan the product, you scan your face with a webcam or your phone camera, and you get a recommendations of the related products to your skin condition. So
How
we've
do
done
you?
a few partnership with the foreign, companies, and I really suggest to
Mhm.
come.
How does Superfarm plan to grow its online business? I mean, obviously, COVID has had an impact. I mean, how do you see this going forward?
Well, for me personally, and the biggest project that I'm working on now and really preparing to launch is going to be the marketplace. We understood a while ago, while working on the online, that we have a lot of potential of the type of products they don't have necessarily the space within the physical stores that we can put on the online business. So the online is not limited by shelf space, obviously,
Mhm. Mhm.
and even if initially what we sold on the online was only the kind of products that you find in the stores, we quickly found ourselves adding products that are basically complementary to that kind of business. So, for example, if we sell a lot of baby products for food and diapers, it made
Mhm.
sense to add baby carts, and strollers and stuff like that as well. So we're expanding that even more. We connected with a company called Miracle. They're pretty big already, and they run the platform for the marketplace. We're just in, the last step of the integration and are
Mhm.
preparing really in the next few days, a week or so to launch the marketplace. And we basically invite, any kind of business. If you know how to do online and you know how to do shipment, we want you to join our marketplace to sell to the Israeli customers. So any kind of sellers from any kind of category. Obviously, in the beginning, we focus more on the kind of categories that are more relevant to Superfarm, because a customer that will come to the store today online and find televisions, it wouldn't make sense to them because we're not that kind of business. We're not willing to buy electronics. But if you do like electronics that are cosmetic related or health related, it makes a lot of sense to the customers. And this is what we really want to enhance, to bring a lot of sellers to sell the kind of products that are relevant, but you'll probably never find in the store because of the lack of space. And it's going to be a nice extension, I think, to the business.
All right. Well, Michael, thank you so much for giving us all this information regarding Superpharm and where you see the company headed. I greatly enjoyed learning more, and I'm sure everybody else did as well. So we're gonna end here, but we're moving on to another session on innovation. So thanks again, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.